Jabba just won't die. Let's talk about it. Good morning, Auburn fans. Dustin Smith, Blake Lane, back with another edition of the Up Tempo podcast. We've done this episode twice already, so let's do it again for the third time, Blake. I'm not going to ask everybody how you're doing and all that. I will say, if you're down in South Florida, I hope you're safe. Anybody up in Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, we do have our guy affected by it in South Carolina there, Brandon. Praying for you, buddy. I hope everybody is. If you're watching and you're dealing with all that, man, know that I am praying for you, and I hope that you hope you're okay. You're here for some football talk, though, and I'm just going to read all some tweets from Justin Ferguson, Blake, and I'll pass it down to you. This is crazy. Auburn averaged 10.65 yards per pass attempt. That's the most Oklahoma's allowed since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn has not beaten a power conference opponent with a winning record since Ole Miss in 2025 or 2021. That was 35 months ago. Auburn is now 2-6 in the last 8 games. 5 of those losses have come at home inside Jordan Stadium. You have the 21-point debacle to New Mexico State. And then the other 4 of those losses have been by a combined 26 points. And the last one from Justin Ferguson over at the Auburn Observer, Blake, and I'll let you just go, is after Jarquez's 22-yard run with a little over 11 minutes left, Auburn had a 96.5 win percentage probability. Auburn also had a 95.1 win percentage possibility before the last 2 plays of the Iron Bowl last year. So here we are again.
Man, this is tough. I didn't even feel like doing this episode, y'all, just because keep getting on here, keep telling you that bad teams find different ways to lose games each and every week. It's the same thing each and every week. If you want to start in the first half, let's start there. Our second drive of the game, we get the ball inside the 5-yard line and then refuse to give the ball to our best player. That's a fireable offense. It's a fireable offense. It's to the point where if you if you don't want to give it to your best player, man, what are we even doing here? You listen to a podcast host and put a package in for Sam Jackson. And now, hey, I love Dukes now. I'm not saying it's his fault. He was just giving his opinion. But it's crazy that Duke says, hey, Sam Jackson needs to get some run, and all of a sudden we come out this next week and this man's in the Wildcat. Y'all, guess what? The Wildcat hadn't worked since 2010, and it's not going to work again. It was a flash in the pan. That's it. And we run Sam Jackson off tackle on 4th and goal? You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. And 27's over there on the sideline. Your best player not getting a touch inside the 5-yard line is a fireable offense. Dustin, when you talk about that run from Jarquez, we go back to the RPO. Peyton throws it. We come to the sideline, and our head coach looks at him and says, why are you throwing the football? Why are we even in that discussion? There should be no RPO. We should be running the football, period. There should be no question of throwing it, period. Period. You run your best player. I don't know how freaking hard that is to understand for Hugh, the other coaches on this staff, and the players. Get your best player the football. Period. I watched 2 teams play last night, Dustin. Guess what? Alabama blows a lead. The very next drive, guess who gets the football? their best player, Ryan Hollywood Williams. Milroe said, "Here you go, big dog. Go make a play and win the game." You get your best players the football, period. I've sat here and I've taken up for Hugh and I've taken up for him and said, "Oh, well, we're just in the process. We got to get out of the Harsin hole." No, let me tell y'all something. These losses aren't on talent. They're not. Because we're going to get into it. Some of these babies on the field yesterday, like Caleb Harris, that's a grown man. He was popping people. Riddick was popping people. Keldrick Falk had some plays where he was popping people. These are babies out there, man, and they're making plays and putting you in positions to win. And you can't finish it because somehow you have confusion with a fifth-year quarterback. How do we have confusion there? And then you get in the post game once again, and you look like you don't care with your arms crossed, and you say, "Oh, I got to put him in a better situation than that." I don't get it, man. I really don't. I don't know what the problem is. And then let's even go back to the clock management real quick, Dustin. Before half, what are we doing? What are we doing? We run Towns out there. It's a complete shit show, y'all.
Bad.
So awful. Bad. Complete shit show. Towns, he misses badly once again. All right. We catch a break. And we line it back up. We got all the time. He gets to take his time, and he misses badly again. Towns Magoo has missed badly all year. Now, I know he's a freshman, so I'm not going to knock on Towns. I know he got put in an unfortunate situation with Alex being out with the problems that he's got. So I'm not putting that on Towns, but I'm not going to bash him. But you still got a job to do, and it's your only job. And you were a highly rated kicker coming out of high school.
27 yards, man. You got to make that.
You got to make it. You got to drive that one through. And you left 10 points on the field in the first half. This game should have been a blowout. Auburn should have won this game by 3 possessions, y'all. Go back and watch the game. And I'll say this. First downs, you had 26. They had 11. Dog, you had 15 more first downs than them. You had 500 yards of total offense. They didn't even get to 300. It's ridiculous. And I tell y'all each and every week, bad teams find ways to lose games in different ways each and every week. It's just what it is. It's in every sport, y'all. It's in every sport. Basketball, you can't make free throws. You can't do it. It's part of your program. If the Auburn Tigers come to the free throw line in a close game with a minute left, who you taking, Dustin? Who you taking?
You know what I tweeted out with 10 minutes to go in the Yale game?
Hey, taking the other team, baby, because Auburn they ain't gonna make them free throws. All right, it's the same way in baseball. You got the number 1 team on the ropes in a 1-run game, and you give up 5 runs in the next inning. It's Auburn. It's Auburn at this point. Just a losing mentality. That's all it is. And it's painful. It's painful to sit here and talk about losing. We had a comment the other night. "Oh, you guys are getting hard to listen to." How are we getting hard to listen to? Because we're telling you the facts. I sat here and I told you 6-6. These dudes, we're getting to 6-6. We're not getting to 6-6. We're losing to Vanderbilt. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I hate it, but it is. You want to know why? Because we find different ways each and every week. It's just who we are. We're bad. We're bad. We're bad. And somehow, some way, my buddy Deuce Knight keeps driving from Loosedale, Mississippi up to that shit show. I don't know why. I really don't. He's got to love Auburn for Auburn because he keeps driving the 3.5 hours up there each and every week to watch pure shit. And that's just me being real.
When you talk about the the fourth quarter, or the drive where we got stopped on first and goal, I think back to the Broncos in the '98 Super Bowl when Terrell Davis was having a migraine.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Shanahan told him, "Listen, I'm not going to give you the ball here," because Terrell Davis was like, "I can't see. Like, I'm literally seeing stars." He said, "I'm not going to give you the ball here. I just need you out on the field because I want the defense to think that Terrell Davis might be getting the ball here.
Yeah.
You stick Sam Jackson out there and snap the ball to him. You don't even leave anything up for them to think about."
Yep.
After there was a timeout, so you tried it out there with that Wildcat. Then there was a timeout. They had a whole 5 minutes to talk about it, and then you still came back out there with it. Peyton Thorne ran the ball fine yesterday. Why were you even taking him off the field?
Yep.
And that's what gets me to my next point. And don't like it, I don't care. Enough bad coaching decisions have been stacked up for me to ask the question, is Hugh Freeze a good football coach? Because think back to that Wildcat play. Well, that's the same mistake that was made last year, correct? You made the same mistake on a 3rd and 2 versus Ole Miss, and I got on here and raved about it at the time because you had made that mistake already. That was the 7th game of the season, and you had already made that mistake 3 or 4 times. Well, here we are in game 5 of year 2, and I'll be damned if we're not making the same mistake.
Yep.
There's no excuse. Jarquez Hunter has over 20 carries in one game this year, New Mexico. Why? 17 carries for 97 yards? He should have had a $130 at least. At least. If not 150. So continuing on to the bad coaching decisions. You benched Peyton Thorne 2 weeks ago because of what he said in a film session. So you benched Peyton Thorne because you watched the film, and on the 4th and 2 versus Cal, you asked him why he didn't throw it to the open crossers. And he said, because I saw Cam Coleman deep one-on-one, and I wanted to make a play. And Hugh benched him because that was the wrong answer to the question. Because now you're thinking too much and not just taking the play that's there. So why 2 weeks later is the ball back in Peyton Thorne's hands in an RPO decision? Why? You already know he will make the wrong decision. And I don't want to hear I see some people online saying, well, we only have RPO plays. No, we don't. I saw a toss play to Jarquez Hunter, did I not? Auburn has plenty of run plays. I've asked. Just to be sure. No, there's plenty of just straight run plays. And that's not something I had to check with sources on, but I did just because I didn't want to come on here and sound dumb. But you can watch the games and see that's not an RPO play. That's a designed handoff. That's a designed toss sweep. But you don't run it then. Blake, if you don't pick up that 3rd down, you punt the football with the clock running and make them drive the field.
Yep.
Why does Auburn play like why does Hugh Freeze coach like Auburn is the better team every week? Why does he play like Auburn's going to make the play? Why do you call a timeout when I threw my hands up and said, what the hell are you doing? 19 seconds ago when you waste the last timeout. So now if you take a sack, you're screwed. You have to get out of bounds. And my problem with that was, even if you run a good play, you get 10 more yards and you're out of bounds. You're putting your kicker at a goofy angle. You're already in the middle of the field. Just run the ball for a couple more yards and stay in the middle of the field. Good coaches don't make that bad decision. And if it was a first time thing, I'd say, okay, it's a one-off. Even Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, they've all made bad in-game decisions. No one's perfect. I can understand that. But my God, I'm waiting on the good ones. It's stacking up real high in one direction. So, and the most frustrating part about all of it to me, you mentioned the free throws in the Yale game. The most frustrating thing is that I tweeted out with 10 minutes to go, Auburn's going to miss free throws and lose this game at the line.
Yep.
And it happened. I don't want to be right about this stuff. Y'all know, I see all y'all in the chat. Y'all been listening for months. Correct me if I'm wrong. Call me a liar. Did this game not play out the exact way I said it was going to play out all summer long? Did it not? Did I not say in June Auburn would blow this game in the fourth one way or the other? You can set your clock to it. Now, here's the difference, and here's where Hugh Freeze is in trouble. I made that prediction thinking Auburn would be 4-0, that Oklahoma would be coming off of a close loss to Tennessee, and that they would come in fighting for their life and they would need a win, and that Auburn would be the 4-0 team, and all the pressure would be on Auburn. And my whole argument was Auburn would blow that moment. Auburn blew a Cal and blew an Arkansas game that they had in the bag. So they weren't even at that moment. So then you were in a must-win situation, and you blew that wide open. And my final thought on all this, Blake, and I'll say this is, it's what I said yesterday on the War Report postgame. We can break it down. We can watch film. We can go through it, and we can say, well, Towns Magoo misses kicks here. Bad coaching decision here. Okay, PT throws the pick six here. Of course he does. We can go back to the other games and say, well, Damari fumbles here. And we can go back to the Iron Bowl. We can say, well, why'd you rush three and you didn't how can you not knock that ball down? And how in the world do you get Keontae Scott and Coy Moore confused and blah? Mm-hmm. We can go down and down and down and down. We can go on and on and on. At some point, I don't care. I'm at the point now where I don't even care about the details of how it gets to where it gets, because I just know where it's going to end. So however we arrive at it, whatever, but I just know we're going to arrive at it. I think yesterday was one of the worst losses in Auburn history. I don't think I'm over-exaggerating. Bad, Blake. Really, really bad. And the most frustrating part about all of it to me is I'm not surprised. I didn't yell at the TV for the first time ever yesterday. I kind of laughed. I laughed. I was like, this is just, it's a circus. You should just put the that's Auburn. Just put that in Auburn football for 3 hours. That should be our walkout music. Get the band to play that and run out to the AU. Because you're going to see a circus, Blake, and the ringmaster is Hugh Freeze.
I'll say this about that pick six possession is I think Hugh felt a little heat when Oklahoma threw the bomb and the 60-yard, and they ended up scoring. I think he felt some heat, and I just can't get over 3rd and 4 and Jarquez Hunter not getting the football when he's averaging 6 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry.
Insane, dude.
Don't at me on Twitter and say, oh, well, he's facing an 8-man box. I don't care. Jarquez, you're getting the football. I don't care if they put all 11 people in the box and we left receivers wide open, because if we throw it to 8, he's probably going to drop it.
All right. Somebody's going to mess up.
Somebody's going to mess up. Because that's just who we are. It's just who we are. And 27 not getting the football is just mind-blowing to me. I don't understand how you don't give it to your best player, man. And it's just the same thing each and every week. And there's no getting around it. It doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't. It's the same thing every week. It's just a losing mentality. And I catch a lot of freaking heat, man, from when I go TikTok live or when I talk on Twitter about the mentality in this state of football that we have. There's 2 different mentalities in this state, y'all. And everybody's like, oh, you're an undercover Bama fan. No, I'm not. I hate Alabama. But when they walk out of that tunnel, it's business. It's time to strap up, and it's go time. You saw last night, they blew a lead. What happened? I can tell you what happens. They go win games, we lose that game. Because it happened yesterday. It all played out yesterday right before our eyes. What did we do? We blew a lead, and we couldn't make the plays to win the game. They blow a lead. They make the plays, Dustin. It's two different mentalities. You got a losing mindset over here, and your fan base. It's okay. Rah rah ree, kick them in the knee. The creed. We're gonna be okay. We love Auburn because of Auburn and War Eagle anyway. Yeah, man. Embarrassing. You gave Oklahoma their first SEC win, and they didn't have a damn wide receiver eligible to play. All right, like, they didn't have a wide receiver. They were out here on damn walk-ons at wide receiver, and they come into Jordan Hare and tapped, and I can't put this on I can't put this one on Jordan Hare Stadium either, because Auburn fans brought it. Brought the juice yesterday, man. That place was electric. You could feel it through the TV. That place was electric. And it's hard to talk about, Dustin.
I want to ask you about this and think back to what I said about being inside the stadium in the Cal game and feeling like the weight bearing down on the team. Hugh Freeze, you feel the weight of every play call. I'm sure the players feel the weight on the execution. When it gets tight, you can just kind of sense and feel that we have to make the perfect call. They've got to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but that right there is the problem, y'all. That's the freaking problem.
Yeah.
That's it. You feel the weight of every play call. I'm sure they feel the weight of the execution. When it gets tight, you can sense that we have to make the perfect call. That's my head coach saying he's shook. No, sir. Red flags. Big red.
No more.
No, sir, he doesn't. Big red flag right there, guys. Big red flag. Can't ignore that. Why do you sense like you have to make the perfect call? Chill out and play football, baby. Let's go. Everybody here has probably watched some kind of NFL films, behind the scenes documentary. Y'all see what these guys do? 21-21 ball game. They're in the huddle. Let's go, guys. This is what you live for. Every one of y'all that played football in your backyard. How many times were you winning 56-0 versus the invisible team having to make the play? Never. It was 21-21.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, a whole crowd cheering, and you made the game-winning touchdown with no time on the clock. That's what it's all about, man. That's why you do this. And y'all feel tight in that moment? Boy, if y'all don't relax and play football, you're not going to win a game. That's the most loser. To me, that's such an insight between the way he handled the first half and this quote right here. I don't think he's the guy. I mean, I don't see it, guys. I'm not saying you fire him today. I mean, you got to give him more time, but it's definitely going in the wrong direction. And that right there, I officially have no faith that it's going to get turned around. Blake, I want to read off some of the stats. What you got?
No, I was just going to say another thing you can look at too is that game I watched last night. There was a team. You want to talk about mentality and mindset? There was a team that got down 30-7, and they were on the road. And guess what? They freaking came back and was a minute away and a 75-yard touchdown from the best wide receiver in the country from Mobile, Alabama. All right, from winning that ball game. That's a different mindset. It's a different mentality, y'all. We're about to get clocked going into Athens, Georgia. They're pissed off. It's going to be ugly. If you got tickets, sell them. Give them to Georgia fans. Whatever you got to do. It's going to be brutal. All right, but there's a different mindset over there in Athens. 30-7, y'all. This was a team who just had an intentional grounding in the end zone to go down 30-7 right before half, and they come out and make a comeback against Alabama. You want to know why? Because they got that dog. Their head coach has got that dog. He teaches something different over there. That's just it's something that Auburn's lacking right now. I agree. I agree, Adarius. We're Auburn fans are just too nice, man. Like Auburn as a program, as a school, as a fan base, just too nice. You want to be too classy. You don't you would rather be classy than get dubs. And that's my biggest thing with it is I don't give a piss about nothing else but dubs. When I told people, they're like, "Oh, well, Hugh did this, Hugh did that at Ole Miss." I don't care. At the time, I felt like he was the guy for Auburn to get dubs because that's what I want. And it's crazy that we live in a soft ass world. I tell you another thing. They put the camera on Ryan last night. Across his eye black, it says "kill everybody."
Yeah.
Bro, I ain't seen no eye black like that at Auburn in a minute. In a minute, I ain't seen no eye black like that at Auburn in a minute. But what's the first thing I wake up this morning? First thing I see, this kid should be taken off the field for having that road underneath his eyes.
God, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop now.
This kid should be suspended. First off, you ain't seen the movie of where it come from. All right. Second off, you're soft as baby shit. And I'm sorry, y'all, but it's just the truth. All right.
I ain't seen that.
And it's a different mindset mentality, and it's I don't know what's wrong with Hugh, man. I used to see a dog at Ole Miss. I used to see a guy that had that fire, that had that passion. I even saw it at Liberty every now and then in the Arkansas win. In that locker room, fired up. It's just something. There's something different going on right now, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing right now for Auburn fans. It's embarrassing. I'm to the point, man, where I'm talking to my friends and I'm constantly getting ragged on for being an Auburn fan. I'm in a group text yesterday, and it's have fun going 3-9. Have fun going 3-9, and I'm just sitting here going, what can I say? I can't say shit back.
I'm in the worst part, Blake. All my friends at this point, even of rival teams of ours, are pulling for Auburn just for me to have a good day. Like I got all my buddies texting me yesterday, like, "Come on, dude, come on, bro." And I swear I text every one of them. I said, "You're pulling for the wrong team." My buddy I talk about, my best friend that graduated from LSU. He's like, "I think y'all got this one today, D." I said, "Brother, you ain't listening to me. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to me. You don't listen to me." Let's get to some of these comments, man. Fire freeze. All right, here we are. Here we are.
It's gonna start.
It's going. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Here we are. I sent you an article yesterday. When articles like that start getting wrote, you're on that path. You're on that path. Fire Freeze became a new YouTube member. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you,
before we recorded, Blake, I did a member pod, and so you guys, I got a lot of DMs yesterday asking me, what does this do for recruiting? So I answered that question. A little about 15 to 20 minute pod we'll have up for you guys. Just answering some of the questions I have from you guys asking about what in the world is going to go on with this class. And the short answer here is I think it's going to be okay because Hugh Freeze is a great recruiter and Auburn is really aligned behind the scenes. The structure is in place. Auburn has a great NIL collective. On to Victory is one of the top in the country. So this recruiting class is going to be okay. But right now, I don't see how it remains a top 4 class. I think some of those top guys, like I can't imagine Bama's not going to get them on visits at this point and convince them, something. So I don't think it falls outside of the top 12, top 15 range. But that whole going for a top 3, number 1 class and all that kind of stuff, and barring some kind of miracle, don't see it. Devin, thank you for putting this in here. Because there are some athletes at Auburn that are getting dubs. Shout out to the volleyballs. Big comeback win Friday night. I saw that. I can't think of his name, but volleyball coach doing big things over there. Yes. He's turning that culture around, so let's go. If Auburn doesn't turn the ball over, they're going to upset some teams this season. Not sure who, but they're upsetting a couple. Only turned the ball over one time yesterday. So
just gave them 6
yeah,
points.
but look when you look when you did it, and look what it resulted in. But turn the ball over 5 times, turn the ball over 1 time, and sure you can say, well, don't turn it over 0, sure, but I would just tell you, Auburn would still find a way. To me, it's. I'm not honing in on one problem because it's such a bigger issue in my opinion. Shay says, once again, bad football teams always find a way to lose. Yeah, brother. I mean, it sucks. It's awful. This is the worst stretch in the history of Auburn football. But War Damn Eagle, yeah, man, always. And at some point, here's what I will say. I bet there were a lot of Tennessee fans that said, "Oh my God, we're never coming out of this."
Yeah.
And they did. Now they had a whole lot of trial and error there. And like that whole process, Blake, shows me how much of an inexact science a coaching hire is. They hired some other guys that I thought that dude's going to work and then didn't. And then they hire a guy that was kind of had mid results at UCF. And from the moment he touched down, that program has been up. Like it's just crazy how it works, man. And Miss Angela's here. She said, I was watching the game and literally just sat there and was like, what happened here? It's called Jabba. It's called Jabba, Miss Angela. He's a big monster that lurks over Lee County, Alabama, and no one has any idea how to slay his ass. He's hiding in the cave, stealing our children. We don't know how to stop him. Yeah, Mr. Evan, appreciate you being here. Hugh's obsession with the Wildcat has to stop. Tried it with Jarquez and he fumbled. Tried it with Damari and he fumbled. Now you're trying it with Jackson and it's not working. I agree with you, Galatian. I don't really understand it. Peyton Thorne's doing just fine running the ball yesterday. Did just fine running the ball. And they still got to think about Peyton Thorne passing the ball.
When they first come out in it, I was like, okay, they're going to give Sam Jackson a little sprint out, and they're going to give him the option to throw it or run it. Boy, was I wrong. I didn't when they first come out. Honestly, I was like, okay, they're going to sprint. They're going to sprint him out. They're going to give him the option to work to the pylon, and if he sees something where he can turn up, take off. And that was not how it went down. And 27's over there on the sideline. Just, I don't know, man. Tough.
Wow. And then Damari running hard and holding on to the football yesterday. And yeah.
Proud of him. It looks like he fixed something. It looked like he was holding it a little higher and a little tighter.
Yeah, he ran hard. John says, very frustrating to watch. I get we're young, but Reddick bought out, Simmons bought out, and Jarquez not being used. Yeah, listen. I mean, think of Rivaldo like falling over, getting a false start and setting us back on the drive. We were moving the ball, man. See these upperclassmen making mistakes. Yeah, DeMarcus Riddick just blowing onto the scene the way he did. Young man is an absolute stud. He is an absolute talent. What a day he had. The last 2 weeks, our defense has played so physical, so fast. They're flying around. They're making plays. Caleb Harris, there was young guys all over the field. And that's the part, man. That's the part where it's like, God, dude, if this team finished 7-5, and I could look at it and say, okay, look at all these young cats balling. But no, not 4-8. Not 4-8 and giving away games. Like, we can say Auburn should be 5-0. We could be conservative and say, okay, well, sometimes you lose games you should win. Then what? Auburn should be 4-1. You want to get real conservative? Auburn should be 3-2. But 2-3,
yep.
bro.
You know what's another thing too is we want to talk about penalties. I just remembered a drive from yesterday. It was in the third quarter, early in the third. We're up 14-7. We're driving, and we get the ball at like hour 40. We got great first down. I think we got 8 yards. It was 2nd and 2. Might have been 2nd and 3. Illegal substitution. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's the same thing, man. It's bad coaching at this point. It is bad coaching. You pop 8 on first down and you get an illegal substitution penalty. Unbelievable. Drive killer. Drive killer right there. Because the next 2 plays, you don't do nothing and you got to punt the football away. I just it's every single week, Dustin, and it's the same thing. Illegal substitution on 2nd and 2. Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, we had 5 penalties, Blake. 5 penalties in the first 6 minutes of the second half. Just came out of halftime and just went on this penalty, or maybe it was 4. It was either 4 or 5. But yeah, just all of a sudden just started committing penalties at a terrible time, right out the gate, right after halftime, when you're supposed to go in there and be talking about that kind of stuff.
Daniel, I want to say this, man, because I see you saying that we should be Bama fans. Look, I respect the hell out of Alabama and their football program because you want to know why? They win. They win, and they've done it their entire time, all right, of existence. They've had the 2 greatest coaches. Do I hate them? Yeah, I hate them, but I freaking respect them, and I like watching them play because it's damn good quality football. I'm the furthest thing from an Alabama fan. Did we hype up Auburn too much in the offseason? No. We should be 5-0. We should be 5-0. There ain't no other way around it. So you lost a Cal. They let you hang around. They tried to give you the game on a silver platter, and you somehow couldn't take it. Arkansas tried to give the game to you on a silver platter. Oklahoma was literally cooked. Giving you the game was like, here, we're not good. We got a true freshman at quarterback. We ain't got no wide receivers. We got a couple dudes out on defense. You're running it down our throat, and you want to throw us a pick 6 to find a way to lose. We should be 5-0, just like we talked about. The minimum 4-1.
Yeah.
It's just the Auburn mentality, man. I don't see it changing for a minute.
Yeah, Daniel, the fans aren't the problem. Podcast hosts are not the problem. I have nothing to do with what goes on the field. Nobody that holds a podcast for Auburn has anything to do with what's on the field. Quite frankly, this comment from you is immature, it's short-sighted, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I took all kind of flack for saying that the Cal game could be a toss-up. I took all kind of flack. Go back and watch when we did our predictions. I said this feels like a 7-5 team to me. I'm going to pick 8-4 because of the schedule, and I'm here to bug a little bit. And I took flack for that. So yeah, man. I mean, honestly, me and Blake are one of the most realistic Auburn pods out there. If that's not for you, brother, the Auburn University puts out content that Auburn can go 0-12, and they'll put out the 3 big plays from the game. So if that's the kind of content that you're into, go check it out. You know,
what part of this Auburn schedule do you look at and the games that have been played and sit here and say, man, we shouldn't be 5-0? We lost to Cal. Oh, they're trash. They're not good.
Daniel, you don't know what you're looking at. I mean, sorry.
They literally left us in the game. They were saying, hey, Auburn, we're going to do the same thing we did last year. Please beat us. Please beat us. We're begging you to beat us. Arkansas did the same thing, y'all. We turned the ball over. Auburn should be sitting at 5-0. But we're not. You want to know why? Because of coaching, poor decisions, piss poor play, turnovers. Can't escape it. And there's something wrong inside of Auburn with not bringing the damn juice, the mentality, the mindset. It's just who we are right now. And yeah, I think your comparison to Tennessee, that's exactly how it feels, man. That's exactly how it feels. It's like we're stuck. We're about to be stuck in a 14 to 15 year drought of just being pure cheeks.
Yeah, it's hard to see a way out right now. In the Foolishness says, my favorite AU podcast. These guys keep it real all the way. I wouldn't and can't miss that. Listen, dude, I appreciate this in the foolishness a lot. Yeah, you're not gonna find bigger Auburn fans than me and Blake. And I promise you this. Me and Blake, we want Auburn to win really bad, and we want to do. It's a lot more fun to do shows when Auburn wins.
Yep.
And I guarantee you that if Auburn was to go 9-3 or 10-2, if Auburn was to go out 8-4 this year, this would have been one of the most fun podcasts to watch.
Yeah.
We will gas Auburn up and hype Auburn up any chance we get.
Because we heard we were going to be better.
But what do you want me? But what do you want? What do you want at this point? If you have a problem with anything that's being said, not just by us, because I've watched everybody. Honestly, I don't usually watch other Auburn content. I watch some of the stuff that like the guys at the War Report do because the network and all that. But I usually don't watch a lot of stuff for the simple fact of I don't want to be influenced by other people's takes. I want my takes to be my own. And I don't want to like regurgitate something and somebody accuse me of just saying the same thing. I'd rather just kind of, have my own original views and everything. I watched everybody yesterday just to kind of gauge and see. Nobody's saying anything that we're not saying. I mean, nobody predicted 2-3 out of a 5-game homestand. And then the way you've given all 3 of those losses away, and you can even be, like I said, you can even be conservative.
Yep.
You still should be 4-1. So yeah, at some point, man, you just have to use your eyes and acknowledge what's going on. And I agree with Galatia 100% here. 17 are running the fourth, and people still pumping the be patient.
And here's the thing: is everybody's also pumping the be patient. Well, Hugh's recruiting guys. That recruiting class is going to fall apart. You go 3-9, ain't no damn high school kid want to go to no 3-9 program. What you talking about? They ain't about to do it. They're going to say, hey, man, I want to go to a winner. They decommit so quick. I just don't get it, and it's the fact of, like we keep saying, it's the way it looks, man, and you can feel it. Dustin slung the tweet out there with 11 minutes left. Dustin text. I got the text right here on my phone. We talked about it yesterday. Dustin said, you feel like we're about to lose this game? I said, yup. He said, me too. That's why I text you. Bang. Next thing you know, 66-yard bomb over the top. We freeze up. Pick 6. Me and Dustin text right back. There it is. We lost.
And I hate it, bro. I hate it. Hate it so much. I can't wait for the day when they prove us wrong. I can't wait.
Yep.
And people are going to be in the comments trying to dunk on us that day, not understand that I'm over here crying tears of joy.
Hey, old buddy was on Twitter yesterday going at me saying that, man, you sound miserable because I was telling Auburn to run the ball with 27. And anytime I look at a guy who's averaging 6 yards a carry against what we heard was one of the best defenses in college football, one of the best run-stopping defenses in college football, and 27 is getting 6 yards a carry, and we're not going to run the football. And he said, oh, well, Peyton threw 3 tutters. Hey, you want to know why? Because we're running that thing. It opens up the pass game. All right? It opens up the pass game. When you got a guy that's running, them safeties got to start coming downhill. It opens things up. It makes life easier. That's where you see Malcolm Simmons. Bang! Yep. Finally, something down the field for Malcolm Simmons. Jesus, it's not. It had gotten so predictable when 11 got on the field that it was a jet sweep. Finally, you send him downfield, and something good happens. So it's crazy how we just find ways to lose, man. It's got to be studied at this point. Really, it's got to be studied. Because it's bad.
I said yesterday on the post game of the War Report, it should be a 30 for 30, or at least an SEC network special. Like, you should document starting at the Mississippi State game when Bo got hurt. From that moment on, dude, unbelievable the stuff Auburn has pulled off. William says, I'm tired of Auburn with issues like put up or shut up. That's it. Just speak that real, Dustin and Blake. Yeah, appreciate this a lot, William. That's just that's the way that like me and Blake just view sports and kind of view life. And I think most people, most reasonable people do too, right? Like you can live in a land of sunshine and rainbows and do all that kind of stuff. That doesn't help Auburn out. That doesn't help Auburn out. And I know what Auburn's capable of. I want to see Auburn be successful. And when Auburn should be 5-0, we're gonna say Auburn should be 5-0. How irresponsible would it be to come on here every week and just ignore stuff that's going on, and then 2 years down the line, Hugh Freeze gets fired, and it's like, well, I didn't see that coming.
Yep.
No, that'd be dumb.
It's gotten predictable too, man. Like
Yeah.
we talk about it each and every week. The play calling, anytime you see 23 run on the field for Auburn,
Yeah.
you know a jet sweep's coming. It's the same thing every single week, man. You see 23 trot out on the field, you know exactly what's about to come. It's the same thing with 11. And finally it changed yesterday. But in the first half, it was screen to Malcolm, jet sweep to Malcolm. It was super predictable. And you can see it from the TV. You look at when Auburn huddles, man, you look at who's in the huddle, you can pretty much tell. Anytime Perry Thompson comes in the game, he's blocking.
Hmm.
You're predictable. People do not respect it at all, man. When Perry Thompson enters the game, you know he's about to block. And that's what it's come to.
What sucks
Bad.
so much is I was prepared and I wanted to come on here today and give player of the game to Jeremiah Wright. I mean, I wanted to talk about how physical he was.
Yeah.
How great it was to watch an offensive lineman at Auburn play with that kind of attitude.
Yep.
I wanted to come on here and talk about, man, look at the future of Caleb Harris. Look at the future of Malcolm Simmons, of Jalen Crawford, of Malik Blockton, of DeMarcus Riddick. Look at it. And instead, I'm sitting here thinking, I sure do hope we have enough NIL money to keep those guys on the roster. It
Just
sucks.
bad, man. You get that super chat?
No, I didn't even see it, but I do appreciate you. Let me get to you. Fire Freeze with the $2 super chat says Henderson has watched the running backs be ignored. Red flag for our members, and you just became one today. Fire Freeze, so you'll see it. I mentioned this on the member pod about if I'm Usman Chroma, I'm looking at that going, boy, do you get mad when I get hot? Because Jarquez bust off a big run and didn't see the ball the rest of the game. Blake, I'm turning right around and hand you good? Yeah, I'm good. I squat 600 pounds. I'm a freaking horse. All right, sweet. Handoff. Julian off of Trailer Park Boy said it best. Some people make sports rocket surgery. It's not. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
Don't overthink it. Okay? Look, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. I don't think I'm missing any more super chats, new members. I appreciate all you guys. One more comment I did want to get to because I did appreciate you saying this, Richard. Richard says, y'all provide year-round Auburn content. That's not the same as overhyping. Absolutely. If you're doing a show, and I really thank you for saying this and thank you for understanding this. If you're doing a show in like March or May, you're going to come on and hype up Auburn for Auburn fans. Like that's just the nature of the beast. There's nothing else to talk about. You want to do a positive show. I'm not going to come on here and crap on the team in March. Once the games start happening, you have to react to it and you have to be real. Lord, I cannot wait for the day when, I mean, hell, we'll do reaction pods to the Auburn basketball victories. I'm here to tell you right now, there's going to be plus 20. I'll be hype after every one of them. I promise. Come on here and gas up Auburn after every one of them. My question for basketball is going to be what happens when that calendar turns to March. Because I know you're going to get there, and I know you're going to have a great regular season. That's where that program's at. But yeah, man, love Auburn to death. Can't wait for the day that we can come on here and hype up some big time wins. And we should be talking about a 5-0 team going into Athens with the potential to break a decades-long curse. And instead, we're talking about Auburn beating Auburn, and it sucks, Blake, and I hate it.
Yeah, instead of college game day being in Athens this week for Auburn, Georgia, because Auburn would be 5-0, ranked in the top probably 20. Instead, college game day is going to Miami at Cal. Hey, that's freaking hype at Cal. College game day is going to Cal. All right, the team that you lost to in Jordan Hare. That's where we're at. Y'all have a great Sunday. God bless you, and yeah, War Damn Eagle.
Yeah, War Eagle. We'll see you guys Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Love y'all. Appreciate it.